Hello, and welcome back to another Thaliondor build video. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to build a handle and pommel for our sword fry sword. This is a lightweight weapon, so we are going to make a lightweight handle and a very heavy counterbalanced pommel to make our sword the most competitive that we can make it. There are other ways to build handles, as you will see in other videos, but this is for that hyper-competitive creme de la creme build. So let's talk about supplies. Okay, let's go over our pieces that we'll need to make our handle and pommel. So we are going to use this half circle dowel that you can get from Hobby Lobby. This is going to create the oblong shape of our handle. We're going to need some 4-pound foam or 12mm high density EVA foam, also that you can get from Hobby Lobby. We're going to have some counterweights for our pommel. We've got a hex bolt here that's going to go inside the core to help add weight to the inside of the core, as well as some wheel weights that you can get off of Amazon. You can buy them in 1 ounce or ½ ounce, or you can get magnetic tape that's also made with lead. This will also help you get, if you're trying to get a specific weight, you can use these to kind of get yourself higher that way. We're going to use a lot of strapping tape. Strapping tape is the one with the fibers in it. And then we're going to use some Gorilla Tape to help round out our handle so that it all feels like one singular piece. And then, as always, we need a knife, we need some marking utensils, and then our trusty DAP container. Okay, so we have our sword here, and the first thing that we're going to do is counterweight the back end. We're going to do that first by using our hex bolt that we have. It's going to slide right in here, just like that. Now, you can put some glue or tape or something to make that fit a little bit better. I don't personally. I just tape it up. If you glue it, you'll never get it out. So just in case the pommel breaks or something that we need to change this out for whatever reason, I just use tape. So let's do that real quick. Very similar to how we do our leather biscuit at the top there. We're going to just create a couple of strips of strapping tape here that we will use to tape this guy down. So we're going to do just like that, crossing over all the different parts of the hex bolt like that. So now that's on there, it's not going anywhere. From here, we're going to add our wheel weights. The ones that I buy come with these little self-adhesive bit. So you got to peel this little white part away to reveal the self-adhesive. What we're going to do, and the way I do this anyway, is I put one piece along the blade side, like that. Flip her over. Do another piece, just like that. And then these last 2 pieces, we're going to take off, stack together. They're going to go right on the butt of the sword, just like that. So that's going to be our pommel, or the starting up. Now that adhesive does work, but it's not going to work in combat. So what we're going to do is tape the absolute dog poop out of it by cutting some strips of strapping tape and affixing it on there nice and tight. So we'll go like this, and then we will spiral wrap the rest of it. We want to make sure that we get all the way to the core. If you're not getting to the core, then it's not going to grab onto anything securely. So spiral wrap, get where you need to go, all the way down to the core, just like that. You can go as crazy as you want to with this amount of tape. Just understand that you are adding weight as you add tape to it. I'm going to cut one extra longer piece to go over the top again. Really secure that down. And then I'm going to get one more piece that will go. And then one last piece to just go around the bottom right here. This will hold all of those tape pieces in without them coming off. Okay, so that's the start of our pommel. You can add more weight to it if you would like. I'm trying to make this as light as possible while still being balanced. You can always check where your balance point is by just putting a finger along your blade and seeing how close or far you are from the balance point being in that sweet spot. Now, I usually only use 4 ounces, but when I started building this, I didn't think about how this is actually 3 inches longer than the regular swords that I build. So I'm going to use 2 of these half-ounce weights to go on either side like this. It'll create a little more of a flared pommel, but also give us a little bit more weight over here in the back end. You can build your handle first if you would like to. I prefer to just build the pommel, but you do whatever you think is best. Building the pommel last would probably be the smartest thing to do, but this is just how I do it, so that way I have some sort of measurement for my handle. So now we move on to the handle. For now, we're going to finish out the handle, and then we will build up the pommel as we need to. This should be pretty good, especially with that added extra ounce on the back end. But I like these half moon dowels from Hobby Lobby because A, they're nice and firm, but they're also a little squishy, so when you hold your sword, you have a little bit of padding on the inside. Me, who's hurt my hands a ton, I like to have a little bit of cushion, as well as it gives a nice oblong shape to it, while still being a softer thing to place onto your sword that won't cause your sword to snap. So how we're going to get this handle on there is we're going to use the space as our measurement, grab our knife, and cut right against where the weights start. That's where we want it, down here, bang. All right, so now we have our 2 sides. We're going to glue the flat bit of both of the half moon dowels and glue the 2 flat bits of our sword and then tack those on there. So let's do that real fast. So while this is drying, we're going to start building our pommel with the foam. So we're going to take our wheel weights. That's going to be our unit of measurement here. We'll just mark it along this. We don't need it to be super long. I'm actually going to measure this real fast. We want it to be about that long. So what we can do is cut just a little bit past that just to be safe. Say something around here. And then we're going to cut on the inside of that line. Okay, so we have our little piece that is the width of the wheel weights. We will glue that just like that. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so usually I would do each part individually, but my microphone died, so I went ahead and just glued everything and let it sit out here while it was charging. So we're just going to tack it all on. So we've done the handle bit. That's going to fit just straight on there like that. Flip her over. Put the other one on there. Oh, you put the other one on there. All right, so now we have that nice oblong shape. And then we're going to start our pommel as well, since we had a little bit of extra time to let everything cure. So like that. And then what I do here is I just kind of take the knife and line up so that they match, just kind of like that. So they kind of blend into each other ever so slightly. Like that. So next what we're going to do is cut 2 pieces of tape that are the length of the handle, or just about. We're going to take them to the handle itself and lay it like that and smush her down. So we're going to try to roll those corners into the core itself, so that way it's a little less jank from this part right here. You don't want that gap so much. But we're going to fill that gap in here in a second. So we'll do that to both sides, like so. Okay, so now we're going to take the Gorilla Tape, and we're going to pull off a piece that's the length of the handle, so about there. We're going to divide this into 4 pieces. We want these pieces to go in between the 2 pieces of foam to help round out that little bit there. Because right now the foam is hanging off the edge of the core, so we're going to build the core up so that it all matches up together. We'll just tack all of those on there one at a time to build that center piece up. We're going to do that for both sides. Just like that. Now, we're going to take some more strapping tape and wrap all that stuff up. Cut a decently long piece of strapping tape twice. We are going to use this to make sure that our handle doesn't roll at all. So we're going to take it, put it at kind of a 45-degree angle here, and we're going to wrap around here. This is probably the only time I'll tell you, you really want to pull down hard on your strapping tape with a nice, firm, and consistent amount of force. When you get your second piece, you're going to lay it the same way, just the opposite. This will stop it from rotating the other way. Same thing, nice firm pull, even all the way through your handle. If you get stuck at your pommel, it's fine, you can just cut that stuff away. Now our handle is done. This is good to use. If you want to tape it up, you're more than welcome to tape it up from here. If you want to tape it with grip tape or baseball tape, either or works great. I prefer baseball tape personally. It just has a nice extra added cushion in the hand. But yeah, that is how I do my handles. Let's work on the pommel next. So the rule for pommels, or anything that's not striking, is it has to be at least 2 inches wide. This is clearing that rule by quite a bit, so we are good there. It can't go through a 2-inch hole period, so this is not going to do that. We can make it thinner this way to save on weight if we would like to. I'm just going to use this piece of scrap foam that I have here to finish it out. The thicker the pommel is, obviously the more weight you're adding to the bottom of it, so do whatever you need to get the weight that you desire. So I'm just going to mark the shape of our pommel here. And then I'm going to cut it out. Now, a trick that I do here, and I mean you can cut it out exactly as it is, I'm just going to cut out the overall border of it, and then I will trim the extra pieces once it is glued on there. This helps with making sure if you mess your cut up at all, you can just trim it after the fact, and when you trim it, if you cut into the other piece of foam that you've already glued on, now it's at least all one same size. So we'll cut this twice. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be a little bit too big, that is fine. We're going to glue both of these pieces, and then both sides of this, we'll attach them here in a second. Okay, so these are glued up now, so we're going to go ahead and tack them on. I'm going to try to marry it up to the sides here as close as I can, and the top. Kind of see it a little better on this side. That way we only have a couple of things to cut. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. You could, probably the smarter thing to do would be to cut these first. So you only have one thing to cut at a time. You're just going to use the pommel in question, or your first piece of foam on the pommel, to kind of guide your knife. Cuts don't have to be super pretty. It's going to get covered up by tape anyway. But yeah, like that. Ta-da! Alright, and then this one will go here. Just like that. And then we'll flip that guy over. Do the same thing where we just cut around here. You can see the knife getting duller as it cuts through the glue. And then just to make the pommel a little more comfortable, I'm going to 45 this corner here. Kind of trim it up. Give your wrist somewhere to actually sit. You don't want a hard corner on your pommel. Most of us hold our sword down at the pommel, so having something where your wrist can kind of sit in there like that feels nice. Now you can use Ace grip tape, or this one's Mueller grip tape, but you can use grip tape for your handle if you would like, or you can buy like baseball, batting tape, whatever it is that you prefer to have on your handle. And you're just going to tape that guy up all the way through here. Now for our pommel, I'm going to do it in black. This is Ace grip tape as well, or sports tape, whatever they call it. We're going to cut 3 pieces that are of decent length, 5-6 inches. We're going to do the corners first, like so. Like that. And then the last piece is going to go over the middle. Obviously, as long as it's all taped up, doesn't really matter, but for aesthetics, that's the way I like to do it. Then we take the rest of the tape, just kind of wrap all the way around. You can wrap this real tight. Kind of goes without saying, but make sure that you don't have any openings, because then it will be ugly, and we don't want ugly stuff. Only nice things on this channel. Okay, so that is a handle and pommel, all wrapped up, all nice looking. Our balance point with that weighted pommel is pretty good, if I do say so myself. That's right where I like it. So, perfect. Now you can make your own. Thank you. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.